Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. This is yet another Retronauts panel live from PRGE 2025. Thank you for filling the room. How nice of you to show up for this. And before I get started, the topic is the best and worst of retro game horror. You are in the correct room, by the way. And I did want to note a few important milestones. This is our 10th year at PRGE, and we are currently in our 20th year as a podcast. Thank you. That was just for me to feel good at the beginning of the panel. So I appreciate the applause. So this panel is going to be covering horror and retro games, examining a few notable titles will show us just how video games could scare us before they could depict violence realistically. And if you've been to one of my panels before, you know it's mainly an excuse to show you clips to laugh at and possibly learn from. So we'll get things started here. But to kick things off, I want to know from my panelists here, well, first of all, who are you? Let's go over here.
Hey everyone, I'm burnt up like a weenie and my name is Jeremy.
Very nice. And who else do we have?
I'm Gary Butterfield of Watch Out for Fireballs.
And I'm Kaye Ross, also of Watch Out for Fireballs.
Thanks, everybody. And I did want to point out that our photographer did not show up because they don't want to come to America. Very weird, I know. So if you want to take pictures of this panel, please do. And please send us...
Things are going great.
Yes.
The country's doing good.
I was walking against a protest march to take Fester's Quest notes in my hotel room. That's what's going on. But if you want to take pictures, please do, and please send them to us on Blue Sky at Retronauts or at Bob Serbo. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, we will have no record of this event ever happening, except for the video that's happening right now. So to kick things off, I want to know from all my panelists, and I'll go last, what was the first video game to scare you in olden times? Let's go in this order. Jeremy, how about you?
It was Mad Planets. I don't know if you know Mad Planets. It's an arcade game where you're like flying around blowing up planets, and they have synthesized voices, and they like have bizarre faces, and they loom at you and shriek and scream and laugh. It's not a horror game, but it's terrifying.
Yeah, I think something we'll all have in common is just weird abstract shapes and sounds frightening us as our brains are developing. Gary.
Yeah, my former stock answer for this was always Out of This World for the SNES, but then I realized the dungeons in Dragon Quest I scared me when I was young. The music, it's dark, you have a torch, no good. Super scary.
And Kaye.
Yeah, first game that scared me was Legend of the Mystical Ninja for SNES. Also not a horror game.
This is an all-ages panel.
Yes, I am so sorry, everybody. They've got some kind of creepy yokai there. Creepy for you if you're like 5 years old when you're playing that. There's a tanuki in there that just looks... I don't know. It really
packing a set. It's incredible.
Yeah. Now it doesn't scare me anymore. I grew up.
Just the power that implied was too much. So yes, I have a clip of the game that scared me. It was a game for the Atari 2600 called Cosmic Creeps, and I think it really is in line with Jeremy's fear of shapes and noises that we can't recognize. So yes, it will seem very silly, but this did scare me as a child. Maybe I was afraid of conga lines. I don't know. The pressure of that getting to me never took part in one, so could go back to my childhood. And yes, you can see the true horror of Cosmic Creeps depicted. But yes, nightmare fuel for me as a kid. But like you heard the Atari 2600 noises, they're indescribable, and they will cause nightmares. So we're going to move on to more iconic horror. So I want to start off by talking about a true horror icon, and I did not want to play any gory clips during this panel. I want to keep it all ages, except for the mention of that tanuki. We're gonna let that fly for now. But I decided let's find a more fun way to introduce all of these horror icons before we talk about their games. So here is a legend of horror, and he's one of the three guys you'll see between clips.
The term deranged sociopath.
By the way, that is not Triangle Head.
Gets thrown around a lot by the media, but it really applies to my next guest. Starting today, you can see him in Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. Please welcome Jason.
does.
Arsenio had the best guests.
Terrible improv party.
Run!
How are you?
So yes, I mean, he was there to promote the worst Friday the 13th, by the way. It's Jason is mostly on a boat, and then he gets into Vancouver for about 5 minutes. So that was the plot of that movie. But yeah, you can see that clip was only 1 minute long. It feels like it's an hour long because the idea of Jason being on your talk show is funny, but then you realize he can't talk.
Yeah.
And there's
And he
about
walks real slow too.
yeah, there's about 8 minutes more of that if you want to look that up on YouTube. So it's excruciating.
It made me miss things. I was like, I wish when pop culture was like that. Like, I don't know, here's Jason.
I
We're
think
all pretending.
that this could be too prescient or too irrelevant to today, but I think Jimmy Fallon would have Jason on.
Oh yeah.
He'd tug on his mask, we all know. Yeah, so we're talking about Friday the 13th, a very famous slasher series. It thrived during this era. And even though video games were mostly seen as toys for kids, we saw a lot of very inappropriate adaptations of source material like this. So we're going to look at the most popular version of this very soon, but I wanted to dig a little deeper and start by looking at 1988's Friday the 13th, the computer game. And yes, the rules were a little looser in this era. You can depict violence a little more because it's for adults with the money to buy a computer, but you can see certain choices they made in this game really conflict with the kind of horror vibes they're trying to send. So here's a clip of the original Friday the 13th game. Feel free to sing along, by the way.
A teddy bear painting would be pretty horrifying.
Yeah. Be a bloodbath.
If you stumble upon it, then they're not ready for you. But it doesn't end there. Yes, dare you enter Old MacDonald's farm?
The public domain.
Yeah, they were really pulling from the public domain hits. And I mean, despite the bad musical choices on display here, this is not a great Friday the 13th game because they don't understand the concept where, I mean, Jason's a big lumbering idiot. He has the power to edit film and appear in different places. But in the game, he is more of a master of disguise who disguises himself as your friend. So it's more like The Thing than Friday the 13th, and you don't actually get to see Jason that much.
Hey, we don't know what he looks like under the mask. Like, he could be our friend now.
That is true.
I never thought of him taking off his mask. That's the instant disguise.
Or we could turn him into a friend. We never thought of that.
we
did
could make. We tried talking to the monster.
So yeah, I just wanted to highlight how weird that one was. So we've gotten that out of the way. Let's take a look at the most popular one and a few of the ways it depicts Jason. So of course, it is the Friday the 13th NES game. Killer title screen here.
I also think the soundtrack slaps.
Yes, all 15 seconds of it. Very
It's good,
atmospheric.
though.
It is good.
This is the part I was talking about. Sound.
Yes.
Not just Jason is square dancing? Like he's box dancing there.
So yes, I mean the Jason that's colored like a Charlotte's Hornet mascot looks silly in 1989, but I think we consider that iconic now. It's a weird choice to make him day glow, but it does conflict with the earthy tones of the summer camp. How do we feel about Jason in this teal and purple getup?
I love it. It pops. That was the NES's trick for scary stuff. Is just use bright colors. It works in Castlevania 1 like, beautifully.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's straight out of Punch Out there, and like not only in terms of mechanics, but also in terms of his style.
Yeah, he was more of a weapons guy. In this first person segment, he is just it's Duke's up. He's ready. Queensberry rules. But yes, I think for a long time this was viewed as a bad game, but it really got a reappraisal after the 2000s because people look back and they said, well, okay, this is simple. They needed more time, but it's a lot more complex than what people were asking for or what they even wanted. They wanted a left-to-right adventure where you're fighting Jason. In this game, it's a resource management sim in which you are keeping track of 6 different characters. across a contiguous world and trying to rescue children before they are killed by Jason. And also keeping track of where Jason is, as he is the stalker character that follows you around.
There's a lot of survival horror DNA
Yeah.
in that game.
I hate how bad of a rap it gets. It is scary to be in those cabins and just be making a couple turns in those first-person segments, and then he's there. It is a genuine jump scare when Jason shows up.
This was the last of the games that Atlas, the Megami Tensei people, developed for LJN, and you can see kind of their role-playing aspirations seeping into it. And then after this, LJN switched to Western developers like Beam and Sculptured Software, and I don't think those games tended to be as good and weird and ambitious as the stuff that Atlas did.
Yeah, it all went downhill. I forget who developed the Jaws game, but that was basically...
Weston.
Okay, that was like an RPG with one town and 3 enemies, but still, it's better than what it could have been.
Yeah.
And this game was unsettling to me. I did avoid it because you read about things in Nintendo Power. It's like, okay, you jump on the Goombas to kill them. You kill Dracula in Castlevania. But the idea of Jason will kill children off screen. And I just thought, well, I'm a child. This isn't so fun.
I'm not on screen most of the time.
Yes. Just the idea, the fact that they hid this violence. It's like, yes, he is killing children. You're not seeing it, but you're seeing the children meter slowly deplete as you're not doing a good job.
I'm glad there's not really a children meter.
Yes.
That would be really bleak if the town just had that. And you'd wake up one day and it would go down, and you'd just be frantically checking next door to see what happened.
They removed those from all the children's hospitals in the 40s.
Yeah, I know.
After we fixed polio.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm bringing it back for my Epstein Island RPG.
Oh, God.
Well, I guess we're going there. But
Something that's super novel is Jason will just kind of keep coming at you. You never permanently deal with him.
Until the end, yeah.
Yeah, after you take him out, it's like you get the text that says Jason is getting stronger or something like that, right? Well, I'll show you the ending here, and it's kind of a fart because, again, they didn't have enough time. You don't even get a new asset. You get the same asset you get when you defeat Jason normally throughout the game. But here is your reward for finishing it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I dropped my soda.
I lost the lid to my yogurt and I'm not hungry anymore.
Jason's kind of in a timeout. Jason threw his iPad, and we're not happy about it. That is. Any final thoughts on this game? I want to see a modern indie version of this. There was a good multiplayer first-person game, but it's nothing like this.
Yeah, I think we said it all. It's cool.
Yeah.
Something that happens as you get older and you play old games. There are several of them that stand up and are still fun to play, but things that are interesting and weird are rare.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that played like that.
One of the casualties of getting into the age of emulation is a lot of people are evaluating older NES games without the manuals. And they can be inscrutable and they can be hard to really make your way in them, and you think, oh, this is just poorly designed. No, you just don't have the full product.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Jeremy.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a few quality of life tweaks away from being a really good game. The whole, the objectives and finding the sweater and things like that, which isn't something intuitive. If you have a better sense of that, it's a much more appealing game.
So somebody out there, ROM hack this for us. We will feature it on an episode of Retronauts. So we have covered Jason. Now it's time to cover another titan of horror. Maybe you've seen him in your nightmares, perhaps on Elm Street. And of course, I'm talking about Uncle Fester.
You know that's 110 volts. Watch. I can even make it blink.
Do you think his family ever got sick of him doing that? I feel at some point you'd be like, we all know him.
I think that just means he's on his meds. He's lucid. Uncle Fester is lucid today.
He's soothing. He's self-soothing.
Yes, we're talking about Uncle Fester from the Addams Family, which is very different than the Munsters. Please do not confuse them with each other. And in the late 80s, right before the Addams Family movies put the IP back on the map, the people at Sunsoft in America had a dream. And the dream was to create a video game starring Uncle Fester, which is very weird because we have been obsessed with Wednesday Addams for the past 35 years as a society. We can't stop talking about her. She's got a new TV show on Netflix.
We named a day of the week after her.
Yes, we did. Retroactively. Go to hell, Odin. Take a hike. But yes, but these guys, they thought Uncle Fester is the key to our next video game. So they got permission from the Adams widow. The man who played Uncle Fester died 5 years ago. He never got to play Fester's Quest. This could have
He's
been
probably playing it up there in heaven with
Yeah.
the drummer from the Foo Fighters.
Well, who knows what he's done. But yes, so Jackie Coogan never got to play the game. And like Friday the 13th, it is very ambitious. I do like, in general, the idea behind this game. It's this open world game that mixes up these 3 different modes. So you have these Zelda overworld style modes. You have first-person dungeons with no enemies. It's just a maze. And you have these battles, frankly, with bosses just ripped from Blaster Master. It's just, you're in a black void with a very huge, colorful boss. And it's all based on the fact that Uncle Fester can light up light bulbs in his mouth, as we saw, and the fact that he has a blunderbuss named Genevieve in the TV show. Now, these are aspects they did not carry over to the 90s movies. I don't think he gets out the gun in the Burton show, and I don't think he's doing that in the animated movies. Do we know if he's wielding guns today, Uncle Fester?
Not in the first season of Wednesday. I can't speak for the second.
I see.
It could be a much bloodier show.
He gets it in the finale.
Yeah, it ends with him digging up his basement cache of weapons.
I think they read Uncle Fester as a family annihilator, and they wanted to get that off the table. He cannot access guns, folks. Do not worry about him. So yes, I did want to show off a little bit of Fester's Quest gameplay before I talk about what's wrong. Sorry about that.
Bonus sensitivity warning.
Close your eyes. Okay, you can open them.
What do you think this thing is?
Yes, outside of the HR Giger aliens Fester fights, this is very on brand. It dips into the IP, all the characters are there. It does everything Fester should do if you know about the character. But the biggest problem is the people in the West designing the game forgot they had the debug version. And certain aspects they assumed would carry over to the retail release did not make it. So the game that came out is very, very difficult. Because if you lose a life and you only get one, you go back to the very beginning of the game. Not the stage, but the game world. So it's incredibly punishing. And this is why I had never made any headway in it as a kid. Has any of us beaten this game on this panel?
Let me tell you about a little thing called Game Genie codes. Those were a godsend when I had to make a video on this about a year ago. Otherwise, no. It's challenging, but also a big part of it is just that it's really, really tedious to build up his strength. And also, as your gun becomes more powerful, it develops new patterns, but there are some patterns that actually are bad for when you're in a sewer or something, and it's very narrow. So you have to power down.
Like
and there's lots of power downs around, which is also frustrating.
If you get the waveform, it just will immediately slam into a wall and terminate. Yeah.
Like if it had no clip. I think this reminds me of Friday the 13th, where I think this is also close to being good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just needs some tweaks. Like I love Blaster Master. I don't think the power down is a very good mechanic.
No,
like you
it's
accidentally
terrible.
pick up, things like that. Get rid of that and give you a continue. And this is like pretty close to playable.
At least one life.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for in this game. But yes, there are so many creative things about it. It's got great graphics. It's got a great opening cutscene. The music is very, very good. Again, it's Sunsoft in Japan at the top of their game, I think. But it is hamstrung by the fact that they were just making the game they were told to make, and it ended up being very hard. But the marketing, in a not cynical at all way, tapped into the difficulty of this game. You'll see the commercial up next here.
This is one tough video game. Fester's Quest is one tough video game with sinister mazes, deadly traps, hideous monsters, and spooky graphics. But if you make just one mistake, you start all over again. Fester's Quest, the video game from Sunsoft for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Are you good enough?
So yes, the promise is if you make one mistake, it's all over for you in Fester's Quest, which games had a more adversarial relationship with their audience in this time period, but the idea of paying, I guess, the equivalent of $80 today to get pissed off is not a great selling point for me.
Silk Song.
Thank you.
I will say that the European version has a lot of the tweaks we've talked about. So I believe people have hacked the European ROM to NTSC or whatever, hacked European tweaks into the NTSC ROM. So there is a more playable version out there, but it's still not quite to the level that I think most of us would want it to be.
Yeah. The idea of a weapon that as it gets more powerful gets harder to use is super interesting. If it was intentional. I don't think it was intentional.
If we replace Fester with Wednesday, we could gin up enthusiasm for a sequel, I think.
Surprising there's not like a ROM hack of that on the floor now.
You get to choose your Wednesday too. Christina Ricci, the other one.
How old are you when you developed an attraction? Like, yeah.
There you go. I guess whatever Wednesday activated you is the one you want to play as. I'm very sorry. So yes, we talked about Fester's Quest. For the next selection, we are sticking with the NES, and I think this next clip will introduce the game very well.
Well, this is preposterous. Monsters getting together to celebrate? I mean, think about how that sounds. It's ridiculous. I mean, they get together, it's going to be a terrifying battle. They're not going to get along, much less have a bash of some kind.
And of course, it's Monster Party. With the dripping green slime, formerly blood title screen. I know the Retronauts audience because as the clip was playing, people were like, Mr. Show, it's Mr. Show. It's something to get excited about for sure. So yes, Monster Party. I love the term Monster Party. It is like cellar door for me. The idea, just the way it rolls off the tongue.
It's useful too.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, you just see a bunch of ghouls like doing a thing.
Yes.
Oh, Monster Party. All right.
And I think there's like one of the Elvira pinball games is called Monster Party.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been used in other places, but this is a
It's
love.
also a terrible Saga strategy. Don't do it.
Well, oh yes. Jeremy would know. So yes, this is a love letter to horror and sci-fi, though the initial plan was to make this a parody game, but they were really afraid to go for parodies. They're afraid of getting sued. So outside of that, though, you can feel the love that went into this, even though it is like a nice B- of a game made by Human Entertainment, who mostly made janky, weird stuff. Do we have experience with Monster Party or Monster Parties?
Both, actually.
Go for it.
Can't talk about the latter, but Monster Party is a really charming little game. It's one of a bunch of NES games that came out around the same time where it has a transformation mechanic. There were a whole bunch of games where it's like, you're a little guy, now you're a big guy, and you've got different powers. Like
Ooh, Amagon,
was
yeah.
another one. There's a few others. It was all over the place. But this is, I would say, the best of them.
Was that around Altered Beast times? as
It
well?
might have been, yes. Yeah.
Yes, and in this game you are a boy, you meet a fun gargoyle, you go to Monster World, and I do have some of the examples from the original prototype which shows you the parodies they were going for that they had to change. So we have this pumpkin ghost that originally was a Planet of the Apes ape with a nice Statue of Liberty in the background, and we have this cat boss fight which was originally Gremlins themed. And then we have something else coming up next, Grim Reaper who can swear. It was originally an HR Giger alien, which was very weird because we could not stop ripping him off in the 8-bit era, but Monster Party said, well, this is too much. We're afraid of the Swiss. We've crossed the line.
I'm probably taking one of Gary's anecdotes about this, but something that I love in Monster Party is you're in the side-scrolling levels, you just like walk into houses and sometimes there are items, sometimes there are bosses. Sometimes you just walk in and there's a big dead spider and just a single text box that says, it's dead.
No, he apologized
Yeah.
for being dead.
Oh,
He says,
yeah.
sorry, I'm dead.
Sorry, I'm dead.
New reaction image dropped.
It's a very polite corpse.
It's a Canadian corpse. So yes, Monster Party, it's lots of fun. Again, they were afraid of annoying IP holders. They were also afraid of making it too gory, but some spooky and gory stuff did sneak in, and I'll show you some examples. Like in one example, you're playing through a level, suddenly lightning strikes, you're just surrounded by rotting corpses and rivers of blood
It's
and
the
severed
first level.
heads. Yes, the first level.
It's what the indie game E-version is referencing, if you've ever played that.
It's
It's
a great
referencing
game.
the first level of Monster Party.
And then the password screen is just a river of blood with corpses in it. So this is when the testers at Nintendo got up to go to the bathroom, and then they came back and it all seemed normal. So this is some gameplay footage. You'll see when things get a little creepy here.
With his duck animation.
Oh yeah.
It's so hard to be creepy when he's doing the worm.
He's doing the
Stop.
and fighting Japanese punks. So yeah. By paying for admission to PRGE, you also get the password for Monster Party level 2. Added value. I hope you wrote it down. I'm not going back. So yes, there's some creepy stuff here, including the ending. So I'm going to spoil the ending, but in the end, your monster pal, who you transform into, they gift you a princess in a box at the end, which turns into a rotting corpse. You can see, it'll play out on the screen, but if someone gives you a woman in a box, you have to question what's going on in that box and the giver of the box.
7.
Yeah. You're getting passwords and women in box information from this panel. So here is the ending of Monster Party.
Why is he so little?
Is this the same one from Uninvited? The Southern Belle?
Mark was scared and screamed. And then it was all a dream, or was it? There was no follow-up, so I guess it was.
Rules. That's so cool. This game is like, it's not that great to play. It's pretty playable for the first little bit, and there's something mechanically there, like having the bat and your primary offensive ability being deflecting is really interesting and neat. It gets real tedious and dumb, and the last couple levels are horseshit.
They're mazes, right? They're weird. They're weird mazes. Yeah.
And in the American version, you can screw yourself out of being able to beat it by not fighting going in all the rooms.
Yep. I think it's by actually going in all the rooms.
Oh yeah. Exactly. It's worse.
You're like, I should do all these things to get through the game. No, actually.
You shouldn't. But nothing like it. Like there is nothing like that as a kid, or even now. It's pretty rare. That kind of surreality of just having all your skin melt off at the end of the game.
So if you go to too many monster parties, you can't win the game?
Exactly.
Okay.
True in the game as real life.
You need to find a monster-designated driver and go home.
There's something about just a game that is not licensed. There's no big important character from movies in it. That just, it's a horror game because we decided to make it just generally spooky. That like happened a lot on the NES, and we just kind of don't get. Like it's this in Ghoul School. Yeah.
Yes, I'd rather attend a monster party than enroll in Ghoul School.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Their credits don't transfer anywhere.
It's for profit. So yes, we talked about Monster Party, and now it's time to move on to a game that I think is going to be the best one we talk about today. And there's nothing snarky to say about it because it just rules. Here is the commercial that'll set it up.
They're coming to your neighborhood.
You're not the pizza guy.
Zombies ate my neighbors! Now playing on Sega Genesis and Super NES, a 55-level feeding frenzy of fine-cut creature features, fending off bee-moving maniacs with your weed whackers, exploding soda pop, and boozy squirt gun. Save the neighbors! Or they're dead meat. Zombies ate my neighbors! From Konami.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors, great game. People are already applauding. And yeah, weirdly enough, it's fun to remind people this is made by LucasArts at the height of their adventure game design powers. They decided, why don't we make a kind of version of Smash TV that is published by Konami? Sure, why not? And it ended up being very good, inexplicably.
Yeah, this is another game. All of these want a little bit of a tweak. If you kept your items when you did a password in this, it would be like a 9 out of 10 game. It would be so good. The password feature is mostly useless because you have to rebuild your inventory from scratch. Other than that, though, it is really good. It's very fun. And just tons of personality. The soundtrack on this is incredible as well. Really, really good.
Yeah, they fixed that password problem with Herc's Adventure, which is why that is a 9 out of 10 game.
Oh, yeah.
I like the theming so much more in Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Like, Herc's Adventure is super cool, but I want to see the creepies.
It really is of a piece with Day of the Tentacle because this was a trend in the 90s. Let's send up this B horror that we're all very familiar with, that your parents grew up watching on television, or maybe you did. And like Day of the Tentacle, it has really good graphics, really good animations, and we can take a look at how this all plays out via some gameplay here. So you can see how much value your neighbors have. Cheerleaders, first priority, teachers, nothing. And I like how the hamburgers give you more points than the man cooking.
The baby can grow up to be any citizen, so it's worth the most.
And lots of different power-ups, lots of different kinds of enemy types. And lots of kind of ripping off existing IP, but in fun ways. So we have like Jason and Chucky and all their friends showing up. It really is a monster party.
Yeah,
I think I just figured that out.
There's even a Honey, I Blew Up the Kids in there.
Yeah, a giant baby.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the inventory stuff, Gary. That is the big downfall of this game because certain monsters are weak to certain items, and a lot of this at a certain point becomes inventory management. Like, where are my soda cans? Where is this weapon? Where is that weapon?
A linear inventory, like scrolling through the
Yeah.
order. So if you miss it, if you tap one more time, then you got to pull up the silver for the werewolves. It doesn't work.
And we mentioned Herc's Adventure. Have any of us played Ghoul Patrol, the sequel?
Yeah, it's a really huge disappointment.
It is. It's prettier but worse, because I think the issue is the animations take too long to play out, so it just interferes with the gameplay entirely.
The last thing I want to say about Zombies Ate My Neighbors, I love this game and plays it a bunch, is I think it has a really clever health system in that you have to have 10 neighbors and you're on the clock to save them. When you get all your neighbors, you get a bonus neighbor. It's real similar to Paperboy in that way, where if you're losing, you get down to one house, but then when you get one house, you get an extra house. Then it's easier to climb back. It's got a really smooth difficulty curve that way. In terms of maintaining your neighbors.
It's loaded with secrets too.
Yeah. The secret level where you go to Lucas Arts, go to the developer studio is super cool.
Yeah, and it's something where like particular items can be used as keys as well. So like your rocket launcher is what you need to beat the big bosses, but you also need to use that to like blow open weak doors in order to like find weapons that will help you jump the power curve or something that'll be useful against a particular enemy that's coming up.
It's an MSIM.
Yeah.
Yes, and Jeremy, you mentioned Herc's Adventures. That is a spiritual sequel. I think you have a lot of experience with this game, or you did in the past. Like
yes, once upon a time.
What are the improvements here, outside of the big downgrade of no spooky scaries?
I mean, the big thing about Herc's Adventure is just you don't lose stuff like that. And also it has a really interesting death mechanic where if you die, you're sent to Hades, and you can fight your way out. So you can continue the game by beating your way out of hell. But every time you die, you're sent further into Hades, and it becomes harder and harder to fight your way out. So it becomes this like skill game. Like, can you survive long enough to get out of hell and continue playing the game? So it just kind of it does something really interesting with this sort of metagame. But also the power-up item, the health item is €1, which I love. It sounds delicious.
And pre-Disney's Hercules. Oh, sorry, Kaye.
No. Disney's Hercules. Also, something that's interesting about it, it doesn't have like distinct levels that you go to. It's like one big map, right? Yeah.
So yes, good stuff. And up next, we're finally straying into the world of full motion video, and I think this next clip will provide all the context you need as to what we're talking about next.
Huge ants all over the place, the size of Plymouths. Plymouths? Nice ramblers, perhaps, Crosley's maybe, but Plymouth? This is far worse than I could have imagined. I've got to make some calculations. This is no mindless bug invasion like those trashy science fiction movies. They have a leader and a sinister plan that spells doom for all of us if we don't move fast. Out with you, I must be alone.
Yes. It came from the desert for the TurboGrafx 16 CD-ROM, and I'm glad, that actor can't be with us anymore, but I'm glad an entire room was appreciating his performance, because he kind of understands what he's doing here, whatever community theater they pulled him from, trained him well, I think. And yes, Carrie, sorry.
No.
And yes, this was originally a PC game that had a much more of a simmy element and time management as these giant ants are attacking, destroying your resources and so on. But Cinemaware decided to reimagine this as a kind of a choose-your-own-adventure game where you play as a biker, you watch a lot of full-motion videos, and then there are some action sequences. But this is the game that killed Cinemaware. If you don't know who they are, they're probably more famous for things like Defender of the Crown and the Three Stooges games. So games that are not great, but they're basically a series of bad mini-games that are gorgeous to look at for the time.
It's an adaptation thing. Like, I have this premise in my head. I haven't put together a panel for it, but I had this thought, which is that adaptations of things early on used to only be collections of mini-games. Like, you'd have the Ghostbusters NES game and the Cinemaware stuff, and then at some point everything just became platformer. Like, and it was a real sea change of like, I don't know, the Three Stooges do everything. To, no, you just run and jump when you're Ren and Stimpy. They don't actually tell jokes, they just jump on stuff. And it was this weird generational gap.
The Three Stooges was the original Yakuza game.
Yeah.
It's like so many mini games. But yes, that's what they were famous for. These very British style collections of mini games that would come up with would form an entire game that you really didn't want to play.
Almost none of them are playable, and if you go to British gaming magazines, they're all 10 out of 10, like the best thing they've ever seen. Not to throw shade, but it's largely because they were graphically impressive.
Mm-hmm. And I do have some clips of the gameplay. So you mostly look at an actor in front of a frozen background for these full motion video scenes, but the gameplay really plays out via very standard 16 bits, really honestly 8-bit style action gameplay, and also the shooting gallery segments where a person is lying motionless on the ground and you are shooting ants as they are approaching this person. So let's take a look at how both of these play out.
That guy's name is Anthony. That's why he's got to go. Thank you for that courtesy check. It was real bad.
That's really upsetting. I don't know why.
Thank you, Buzz. That was really cool. Now you gotta kill the queen instead of free.
She'll be fine, everybody.
Like dark reboot of Gulliver's Travels. Why can't she get up?
I guess, like, whenever you rescue somebody, because they have to match the sprite, they actually can't get up once they're done being attacked by ants. They just stay frozen on the ground, barely moving their head.
It's a shame that is maybe the more remembered version of this, because like the microcomputer, like the Amiga version of It Came from the Desert, is interesting in the way that it forces you to manage your time and your resources and stuff. Like I think it's actually kind of okay. Like you can still get it, but this FMV, no.
Yeah, it's a weird interpretation of that computer game. And this ruined CinemaWare, and it's a real shame because they were jumping into full motion video before we were ready. This is right before Myst, right before The Seventh Guest, and so on. So they went away, but then 27 years later, somebody remembered It Came from the Desert, or that they saw the rights were very cheap. It could be one or the other. So here is what happened in, I believe, 2018. Yes, this is a real movie shot in Bulgaria or something, but this is what we did after Uwe Boll retired, but before Mickey Mouse became public domain. So you couldn't make Steamboat Killy, you had to find some video game that nobody cared about.
It sucks that CinemaWare died because they were right on the verge of releasing a fourth Stooge.
We have the technology finally.
Shimp as DLC.
Downloadable Stooges.
Well, who knows what they're doing with AI?
This is a day one Stooge.
I think secretly we have developed thousands of Stooges with AI. And who knows what kind of fun they're having, you know? But yes, this actually is based on the CinemaWare game. Somebody found the rights. If you look at the trailer, it says based on the classic computer game. So yes, that is what's going on there, and that is a real movie you can watch, but please don't. So now we're moving on to the last topic, and like I said, I wanted non-violent ways to introduce these subject matters. So here is the most non-violent way to introduce this character.
So my advice to you is to stay ready, cause you know who's back? Freddy. You see, my name is Freddy, and I'm here to say, take it away. Feel like you're tired and ready for bed. Don't fall asleep or you'll wake up dead.
And you know, we are only down to one fat boy, so Freddy works slow, but he still works. Only half of you
should have been more orderly.
I got a thumbs down. I will say, though, like many of you, I have not listened to Ready for Freddy by the Fat Boys in full in my life until now. I did not realize that he says, "My name is Freddy and I'm here to say." I did spit out whatever I was drinking at the time.
There's also Nightmare on My Street by the Fresh Prince.
Unlicensed.
Yeah. There were competing rap songs about Freddy.
Yeah, Freddy did not show up in that video and do his I Dream of Jeannie move, whatever that was. Whatever's going on there. But yes, we're talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street. So Nintendo Power reported in Volume 2 that there was going to be a Nightmare on Elm Street game. You were going to play as Freddy, and he was going to menace the teenagers, and you have to destroy the teenagers before they collected all of your bones to kill you. But then they realized, well, this cannot fly on the NES, the kid-friendly NES, so now you play as the annoying teens. And speaking of annoying teens, it's based on A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, what with the plot about collecting the bones and destroying them, and the different power-up personas you can adopt, because the Dream Warriors in that movie are essentially D&D characters, but it doesn't really play out the way they wanted to, as you'll see in this next clip.
Wizard Master. I am the Wizard Master. In the name of Lorik, Prince of Elves, demon be gone!
Sorry, kid. I don't believe in fairy tales.
Freddy is essentially saying, "Shut up, nerd."
It's funny because all those superpowers, the true superpower was getting Dakin on your side.
That's true. Freddy could not handle Dakin. He destroyed the Fat Boys. Their families are still very upset by that. But yes, so they made an NES game, and I'll play the clip here. It's essentially Rare making Castlevania in a way with some Battletoadsy elements right before Battletoads, but if you played the Beetlejuice game, it's remarkably similar. And if you've ever played a Rare game for the NES, you can see like just what they're drawing from. It's all
the time lordification of this whole thing.
Thank you. And you fight Freddy parts essentially that have DVD screensaver logic. So they're not really interested in you. They're interested in finding the corner. And the real nightmare is it will never happen. So yes, that's what's going on there. Do we have any experience with this game? See, I could not find this game as a kid. I'm sure if I saw it, I would not want to play it. But I feel like retailers might have been shy about carrying this in the kids NES section.
I did not play this, and I'm dreading having to play it at some point for my videos. So that's where I stand.
I ended up playing this a lot. I rented this as a kid who didn't have a whole lot of familiarity with Nightmare on Elm Street, but kind of was pro Freddy. As a kid, I was like, oh, that guy's cool. There's a commercial where he says I can call him. That's cool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He was part of that scam, too.
He was part of that scam.
Yeah.
It's not, it is a rare, the time lordification of it all is true. Like, it's not horrible. It functions, you have a weird jump. But that idea of collecting power-ups that turned you into different kind of modes of guy was cool. Like that, I think that's my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street because it's like somebody's got to figure out lucid dreaming. That's a good idea for Nightmare on Elm Street, and then they just kept going.
Yeah, in the game, outside of the Karate Man, every form you take is just a different flavor of projectile, like a different color of projectile.
Yeah.
But I'm getting now. The panel's about to end. This is the entire reason you're here today. The entire panel was built around me playing this one clip, which really shows off this era of retro games interfacing with horror, and it's wonderful. It's about 2 minutes long.
Where am I?
Jump, boy.
Whoa!
Jump.
Dad?
Be like me.
They managed
Be
to
like
get
me. Be like me.
They managed to get a hold of the Nick Arcade technology.
Is that the Encyclopedia Britannica kid?
I'm not like you. I don't want to be like you. Not like you.
Now I'm playing with power.
Yeah, he said it.
All right. Super Spencer. Yeah.
Great graphics.
Now this is where I made an edit to the film. It was going on too long.
Picture the future of humanity, and it's just that. Forever.
Come on, John.
Get out of here now, please.
Hey, you forgot the power.
Yeah.
Wait.
Be like me. Be like me. Be like me.
What do you know? You beat my high score.
Nobody likes my Mario Maker level. That is it for the best and worst of retro horror games. Gary and Kaye, where can they find you?
We are on duckfeed.tv. It's our podcast network. Show that you might be interested in is Watch Out for Fireballs. That's kind of our flagship show. But we have a bunch of stuff on the network, duckfeed.tv.
And we're paneling tomorrow
Yes.
with these fellas. We're doing something not on purpose, but almost kind of similar. We're talking about the best and worst 7 out of 10 games of all time. That will make sense to you if you come to the panel.
Yeah, and we will be at Quarter World tonight around 7 o'clock for a informal meet and greet and just a chill sesh, so come on out.
Bring your badges. You get into Quarter World for free with your badges. 7 o'clock, it's on Hawthorne. It's great.
Cool, well, thanks for coming, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a great con.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and here are a few more videos for you to check out.